What if I told you that while some countries are stuck debating the blueprint, others are already living in the future? Imagine a bridge so tall it brushes the clouds, trains that travel faster than airplanes on some domestic routes, and an airport that looks like a spaceship and was built in half the time it takes to fix a pothole elsewhere. Sounds like science fiction? It isn't. It's happening right now. And not in the United States, but thousands of miles away in China. This is the mind-bending story of how China is leaving the world's biggest economy in the dust when it comes to infrastructure. And trust me, you're not going to believe how wide the gap really is. For many Americans, infrastructure means rusting steel and delays. The California High-Speed Rail project is a perfect example. Approved in 2008 with the dream of connecting Los Angeles and San Francisco in under 3 hours, it promised to be America's answer to Japan's Shinkansen and Europe's TGV. The original budget, $33 billion. The estimated completion year, 2020. And now, it's 2025. And the dream is still just that, a dream. Over $15 billion has already been sunk into a line that's not yet operational, with bridges that go, well, nowhere. Even the optimistic projections say we won't see the full 400-mile track until sometime between 2033 and 2035. The price tag? It has skyrocketed to more than $128 billion. And that's considered a conservative estimate. For some Americans, it's a national embarrassment. For others, it's just business as usual in a country where infrastructure gets tangled in bureaucracy, lawsuits, and political infighting. Meanwhile, across the Pacific, China has been busy building the future. Since launching its first high-speed line between Beijing and Tianjin in 2008, the same year California approved theirs, China has constructed over 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. That's enough track to circle the Earth at the equator. And these aren't slow, scenic routes. They're bullet trains zipping across cities at 421 kilometers per hour. By 2025, they're even testing magnetic levitation, maglev, trains aimed at breaking the 600 kilometers per H barrier. The cost per kilometer? 1/5 of what California's system is projected to cost. And these lines are not limited to megacities. They thread through mountains, cross deserts, and bring economic uplift to remote towns. They're not just trains, they're lifelines. And let's not forget bridges. The Golden Gate Bridge is undoubtedly iconic, but it's also nearing 90 years old. Today, 42% of U.S. bridges are past their intended service life, costing the economy billions in lost time, maintenance, and safety hazards. In contrast, China has gone on a bridge-building spree, now home to 8 of the 10 longest sea-crossing bridges in the world. That includes the 55-kilometer-long Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, a jaw-dropping engineering marvel. This bridge doesn't just span water, it spans the limits of human capability. Beneath the churning waves of the Lingdingyang Strait, engineers had to align 33 massive tunnel segments undersea, each one 80,000 tons and taller than an 8-story building, with precision tighter than the width of a human thumb. The challenge was compared to threading a needle attached to a moving aircraft carrier during a typhoon. They faced 137 failed tests. Tidal surges knocked sections out of alignment, but instead of giving up, they created the world's first dynamic hydraulic correction system that realigned massive segments within 15 minutes. That's not a repair job. It's a surgical miracle at sea. American engineers once laughed at the idea of achieving millimeter-level accuracy underwater. Chinese engineers didn't laugh. They built it. And they didn't just build it to look impressive. The bridge is designed to last 120 years, withstand magnitude 8 earthquakes, typhoons of Category 16, and collisions with 300,000-ton cargo ships. Still, many overseas commentators dismiss it as a vanity project. A bridge to nowhere, they scoff. But they fail to see the 1,000 plus patented technologies, or the enormous commercial and strategic value it brings by connecting the Pearl River Delta, home to over 70 million people, with faster access to Hong Kong and Macau. When it comes to construction speed, America is stuck in slow motion. A typical bridge in the US takes 7 to 10 years to complete. In China, using pivot rotation engineering, they moved a 16 300-ton bridge section into place in just 90 minutes. The Pingxiang Bridge did it in 85 minutes, setting a new world record. John Smith, a veteran member of the American Society of Civil Engineers, summed it up with disbelief. "We thought millimeter precision underwater was impossible. They made it look routine. Then there's water engineering. The Hoover Dam was once a symbol of America's might, but today, China's Baihetan hydropower station is stealing the spotlight. With caverns large enough to house 13 Boeing 737s, it generates more than 3 times the electricity of Hoover. Its underground complex spans 217 kilometers, nearly the length of the entire New York subway system. And yes, it was completed ahead of schedule. Even airports are getting the China treatment. Take Beijing Daxing International Airport, a sci-fi-looking, starfish-shaped megahub designed by Zaha Hadid. Built in just 4 years, it now handles 200,000 passengers daily and is considered one of the most advanced airports in the world, earning 60 international patents in the process. Compare that to Boston's Big Dig, which ran 220% over budget and took 3 decades to complete. Why does China pull this off so effortlessly while the US fumbles? It's not just about technology, it's about system design. In the US, a project like high-speed rail has to pass through endless layers of bureaucracy, political bickering, environmental reviews, lawsuits, and local resistance. Everyone wants progress, but no one wants it in their backyard. In China, decisions are centralized and execution is swift. If a mega project is announced, thousands of companies, workers, and government departments align toward one goal. That was the case with the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, where over 1,400 companies collaborated. You don't get that kind of unified drive in a fragmented system like America's. And China's infrastructure revolution isn't confined within its borders. From Africa to Southeast Asia to Eastern Europe, China is exporting its infrastructure package. A complete solution that includes financing, design, construction, and technology transfer. The Belt and Road Initiative has already touched over 150 countries, offering roads, rail, ports, and power plants where Western lenders and builders have been absent for decades. While critics question China's motives, labeling it debt trap diplomacy, many developing nations see it as an opportunity to leapfrog into the modern age. For them, Chinese infrastructure is not imperialism. It's a ticket to the future. So what's next? China is now investing heavily in green infrastructure, such as smart cities, solar farms, and ultra-high voltage transmission networks. It's developing autonomous railways, building floating solar islands, and even planning a space-based solar power station that could beam electricity back to Earth. And here's something mind-blowing. Chinese engineers are now designing the first vacuum tube train prototypes, with test tracks already laid in provinces like Shanxi. We're talking near supersonic speeds inside sealed tubes, something once thought to be limited to Elon Musk's PowerPoint slides. This pace of progress is starting to change the global narrative. The New York Times recently conceded Chinese infrastructure is reshaping the global economic order. While America debates whether or not to build a new airport terminal, China is already experimenting with 5G-enabled smart highways, where cars, toll booths, and even streetlights are connected and responsive. Cities like Shenzhen and Hangzhou are testbeds for urban AI traffic systems that adapt in real time, reducing traffic jams by up to 20%, and they're just getting started. Behind all of this lies not just the brilliance of engineers, but the relentless drive of a nation that remembers what it means to rise from ruin. Just 75 years ago, China was one of the poorest countries on Earth, ravaged by war and famine. Today, it stands as a blueprint of how vision, unity, and determination can literally build a nation from the ground up. The infrastructure maniac isn't slowing down. If anything, it's revving up. While the United States continues to grapple with political gridlock and outdated infrastructure, China's relentless progress has astonished many international visitors and observers. Frequent travelers to China often describe a nation that leaps forward with each visit, one that invests heavily in science, technology, and large-scale infrastructure projects while also preserving its ancient architectural heritage. Unlike systems driven by individual gain, China's collective mindset emphasizes efficiency, discipline, and national progress. Values such as respect, education, and responsibility are deeply ingrained from childhood, creating a culture that admires hard work and harmony. China's vocational and STEM-focused education system, along with its spiritual and traditional foundations, fuels both innovation and societal cohesion. Even critics of the political system acknowledge the country's breathtaking achievements in engineering, mass transit, and urban development. Many now call on the world to learn from China's model, especially in infrastructure development, social discipline, and forward-thinking governance that puts long-term national goals above short-term personal gains. So next time someone says America is still #1 in everything, ask them, can we still claim that in the age of mega projects? Can we compete with a country that builds in 5 years what takes us 30? So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.